record. Okay, and we are now up and running. All right, so this is the In Theory podcast. This is my first time ever starting a podcast. This is live. There's no script to this. This is just straight to the point. He just got here like 5 minutes ago, and we had like a quick chat just to kind of get things smooth and going. But this is it. This is real. This is our first take. We're gonna do only one take, and this is as real as it gets. So, Edward, this is Edward, guys. Edward, just go ahead and just tell us who you are, man.
Well, let me just say that things just got real. My name's Edward. I'm 26 years old. Chick-fil-A worker.
Mm-hmm. Which is, by the way, how we met. We both work with each other, and I decided to just bring him on the podcast. He has some interesting things to tell you guys.
Yeah. A little bit more about myself. Since I was 14, I struggled with Parkinson's disease. With that in itself came with several other challenges in life. Depression being one of them, because I wanted to fall into depression, but because of the dopamine levels in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like something that just happens with Parkinson's.
Yeah. Because of the medicine then.
Well, it's not even the medicine, it's just that my body did not produce enough of the feel-good chemical.
Right.
So,
which is the dopamine.
Yeah.
The dopamine is what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And you weren't getting enough of that.
Yeah, and it's also strange enough what triggers Parkinson's disease.
Uh-huh.
So, because I wasn't getting enough, I developed Parkinson's, and with that also depression developed and a few other things,
Mm-hmm.
But just gotta keep going strong in life.
Yeah, definitely, man. And so like, you got Parkinson's at 14, right? So like, before 14, you were like perfectly just nothing. Was there no Parkinson's? It was just like just straight up normal.
As normal could be. There were other challenges in life. This is something that like personal, but might as well share it. Since around the age of 7, I got there was a term that was started being used called playhouse with a cousin that was older than me. And so, but that's a whole different story. That kind of led to like a lot of things that eventually gave me one of the biggest challenges in life. And that's just like I started questioning my sexuality a lot when I was
Definitely.
so but before that, technically I guess the question would be is like, what is normal?
Exactly.
Because like for one person, it's like this is like going on a different subject. But, it's like the reason there is war is because one person's normal and the other person's not normal, or it's their opposite, right? And so there can't be an agreement, so war breaks out.
Right.
So there's no really sense of. I don't think normal is a word that can be used in situations like this, I guess. Because now my normal is Parkinson's.
Right.
But before
Someone else's normal is not Parkinson's.
Yeah, so like not having Parkinson's is not. And by the way, I'm not shaking crazy because I'm on my medication. So
and I noticed that too when you came in, that you're not as shaky. I know some days I see you and you're like really shaking, and that has to do with the medicine.
Yeah.
If you took it too late or
So also surprisingly, if I take it too early, also.
Okay.
It has to be at a specific time.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So so then there was a point in your life where you were just questioning your sexuality.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is very common. It's very common. A lot of people actually do question their sexuality, and people that you think aren't questioning are actually in the middle of their guessing game. Like, who am I? What do I like? You know what I mean?
And so it was more like, okay, so since it was a male person who like and molested me pretty much, And not only me, but put like our cousins together at
Sure.
the same time. It was just very not confusing, but like it became, there you go, then it became a norm.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, what, like by the time any of our parents found out, like the damage had already been caused, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, at what point can one go back from that? At what point, can one move forward from that, really? Because you don't, I mean, you're gonna think like, why would you want to go back? So it was more like just that question, like, well, am I gay or am I straight?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, no, I know I'm straight, but then that lingering thought was
Mhm.
still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mhm.
like, I know I like women, I know,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Dude,
I
totally
don't-
get you. Totally get you. Yeah.
And so it's like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
just gotta keep going straight.
So, like, even to this day, do you feel like you're still questioning it, or do you have more an idea of a reference on what you like, or you're still kind of like, what's the deal?
I know it's a set song that I like women.
Okay.
But then one of the struggles is like, that came with that is like, I think sex should be between man and a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even at that, I believe that it should be left for after marriage.
Right.
But because that would be one of my struggles of like, oh, let's play house, it became introduced to me as a game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, like, okay, I really think sex education is really important and it should be done at home,
Right.
not left to teachers to do it.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so if sex is not taught the way it's meant to be and not what it's become,
Mm-hmm.
to where people are sleeping around, like, you know, that's
Right.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
And that, dude, honestly, that was my year this year. And I hated after every time that would happen, I felt disgusting with myself. I just absolutely hated who I was.
Mm.
And I had never struggled to the point that I did this year, because before this year, I had
Mhm.
only 2 sexual partners.
Mm-hmm.
And this year that number skyrocketed because I just could not stand who I was this year.
Mm-hmm.
And every time it just drove me down deeper and deeper into a hole, and into a deeper one, into a deeper hole.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, considering I just shared my values,
Mhm.
and everything I did this year went against my values, like, I mean, that destroyed me inside.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it just brought me to a state of like heavy depression. Like this year, this depression that I struggled with this past year was the worst I had ever struggled with.
Wow.
But it's so crazy because around November is when I stopped sleeping around,
Mm-hmm.
and one day I just like, I got super suicidal. It was at night, and I just didn't know what to do with it anymore. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm gonna go jump off the 281 bridge.
Mm-hmm. That you felt
Yeah.
100% that
Yeah,
that needed to happen.
Yeah. And I think it was the day before. I think it was a Sunday night, and Vanessa was the one who actually talked to me that following morning at work,
Mhm.
and she prayed for me and everything, and it helped a lot. But that Sunday night, I was like, okay, this is it. I had written, not like
Like a goodbye letter.
Like not like an extensuous goodbye letter. It was more like, I'm sorry I did this. I love you all, and I'm sorry for the pain I'm about to cause you. Goodbye. And that was it. Like it wasn't like detailed person per person.
Yeah.
Or like it was just like straight and short to the point. And that's who I am. Like straight and short and to the point. Like I don't think we need to bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know what the language barrier is.
No, yeah, just yeah. There's no language barrier.
Alright, so I don't think we should, or beat around the bush, as they say. It's a waste of time. And so, yeah, man, I was gonna kill myself.
Wow. And that was actually pretty recent.
Yeah.
That wasn't long ago.
No.
Wow.
But every day before that, you saw me with a smile on my face, and every day after that, you pretty much saw me with a smile on my face. Suicide can be hidden.
Very hidden.
Depression can be hidden.
Very hidden. Depression is essentially a mask.
Yeah.
And same thing with suicide. Hang on just 1 second, because let me see. All right. Okay, so back to what we were talking about.
Yeah. So it was actually very recent. But it was crazy because that same night, I was like, I felt God trying to comfort me. It wasn't like I knew He was comfort. It's like I could feel it right there and then. And so I was just like, no, God, like I'm tired of life. I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of that, and I want to end it. I want to. And then all of a sudden, from 1 second to the next, it was just like a vacuum. Just sucked out the depression from every fiber of my being. And ever since then, I have not been depressed. And I felt it wanting to come back, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you come. I've been delivered. I've been set free from this. By the way, people, I'm Christian. And so I have a strong belief in Christ. And so sharing that and sharing everything else that I struggled with this past year, it's like most people don't want to share what they struggle because they think Christians are normal or like they're perfect people. Like no,
which is not the case by any means. Christians, there's no such thing as perfection in this world, regardless of religion, and people always experience their problems. And so, like, when it comes to your phase of being suicidal, that was just a collection of just everything that was going on in their life? What was the biggest thing, the biggest weight that made you just want to say, screw it, I just want to cut the cord and then everything?
I fell in love with a person that did not love me.
It's very scary.
It just broke my heart. Because I did not just fall in love with that person, I fell in love with her daughter, which I started seeing her daughter as my own daughter. And to give and not have anything reciprocated.
Right. Yeah, you can only do so much. Yeah.
And that day, I don't even know what blew me up that day. Or what lit the fuse that day, pretty much. But I struggled with the depression since I was about 14 also. Suicidal thoughts, tendencies also since I was 14. But not because of the Parkinson's, but because of other reasons. And really, it's only one reason. When I was 14, it was July 4th at 9:30. All of a sudden, I got this deep sense of someone's gonna die tonight. And I was in Austin at the time, or Pflugerville really, which is like 15 minutes north of Austin, or 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. And 3 hours later, sure enough, someone died.
Who was that someone?
My girlfriend at the time's sister.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you just felt something was
The thing,
like shit was gonna hit the fan. Something that night.
like I knew someone was gonna die. literally knew. My words to my girlfriend at the time were,
Mm-hmm.
"Stay close to your family. I believe you're gonna die tonight."
So you originally thought it was your girlfriend that was gonna die.
It ended up being her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
And what did she die of, if you don't mind me asking?
Rollover accident.
Wow.
Her and her boyfriend were going home from a Fourth of July party.
Yeah.
Both of them completely sober. They did blood work and all that. They were both sober. The boyfriend just fell asleep on the wheel because of how tired he was. When she took off her seatbelt to try to regain control of the truck, the forensic scientists say that the truck was already flipping by the time she got to the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Flew out of the front windshield and hit a tree. The only thing on her body, no bruises, just a small little scratch about an inch long on her forehead. No bruising, no cuts, no nothing.
So she was clean.
Clean, just a little.
From coming from an accident, a scratch is pretty damn clean.
Yeah, considering she flew out of the front windshield. Yeah.
That's freaking crazy. Wow.
And so I was like, when I heard that the following morning at 10:15, I mean, I still remember the times. It's like so crazy.
Yeah.
At 10:15, I wake up from the call.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I heard was my girlfriend at the time crying, and it's like, shit, someone did die.
Yeah.
And then all I heard is, Deidre's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I just stayed quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all like, Edward, did you hear me? And then all of a sudden, just poof, the waterworks just started falling, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't hold it together.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hold it. I mean, like, how does one hold it together after, like, you know, like, warning the person, like, hey, I believe you're gonna die tonight, and then her sister dies, and then you hear that the following.
Yeah.
It's like, so we hung up, and then from the moment I heard it, and I started crying till 5:00 p.m. that I fell asleep. Because I remember just looking at the clock and then I just like dozed off.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole day I spent it crying.
Wow. How long ago was this?
When I was 14.
Oh, okay.
12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I like your shirt.
thanks, man. I bought this at Old Navy. I'm into like really like like interesting weird shirts, and not like your basic Hollister shirt or some shit like that. Just like a regular like a random shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get back into this conversation. So suicide, I think. So something that I learned last night, is that suicide, you're not trying to end yourself, you're trying to end the pain.
Yeah.
And that's all suicide is. And when you end yourself, which is a weird thing to say, but that's the reality of it. When you end yourself, you don't end the pain, you pass it on. You pass on the pain, exactly. And it just doesn't stop. You think it does, it doesn't.
And so you don't only pass on to the, like in my belief, and like what I believe, right? Mm-hmm. I believe in heaven and hell.
Okay.
And so there's one or two things that will happen if you commit suicide or if you die, right? A lot of people think that suicide is a straight ticket to hell. No. Because killing yourself is the same thing as killing someone else. It's murder. Mm-hmm. And since murder is a sin, yet Jesus died for our sins. If we've accepted Christ in our heart as Lord and Savior, technically we're saved by what He did, not by our own. And so a lot of people think that if you kill yourself, you go straight to hell. Yes, you go to hell if you haven't accepted Christ, because at that point you haven't received the gift of everlasting life. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you have, then you would go to heaven. Not only will the pain still be here on earth for the people that are left, but you wouldn't. You'd be in a pain-free zone. At the same time, like, I don't think I would have been. I mean, I wouldn't. It's not that I would have had a choice because I would have been in the presence of God, and there's no pain in the presence of God. Like, even here on earth, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that where you've been, because God's all around us, right? But when we pay attention to it, we pay attention to His presence, it feels different. Life feels different. In a moment where you're supposed to be angry or broken in tears, all of a sudden there's just peace. And that peace is the peace that surpasses all understanding, which is one of His many promises for us in the Bible. Because the Bible actually holds 3,000, I believe 576 promises that He has for us to experience in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Throughout our lifetime. Not just once or twice, but throughout our lifetime.
Yeah.
And so I would be in peace, but yet my family would be in chaos. I don't think that's fair. And so I don't think I would have been able to. I just can't accept that truth. Like, I know it's truth, but I can't accept that I would be at peace in heaven and my family would be in chaos. Because I would, like, that's the last thing I want for my family to be. And when I say family, I don't just mean, like, my family. I mean you, like, people that I'm connected to, like.
Right.
Because at some degree, people will feel the pain. Like, especially, like, okay, had I actually killed myself that night, like, knowing how you would see me at work, like, it would have tripped you out, right? Like, it would have been like, what the heck? Like, where did that come from?
Which is exactly why I say you never know who someone really is.
Exactly.
It's true.
And so, like, it probably wouldn't have, like, affected you emotionally as it would have my parents, but it would have still been, like, a question. Yeah, because, like, I mean, at work, I'm, like, nothing but happy laughter. I don't know.
Happy teeth.
I mean, I want, like, I don't know why I said happy teeth. I guess because I'm always showing my teeth when I smile.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess we can just, like.
We can rock with happy teeth.
Or we can just change it up a bit for happy feet.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing, like, at work, people put on, and it's not only at work, but it's just everywhere in life in general, in public places, in family gatherings, you know, going over a friend's house, people put on a fake environment, and that's the thing with social media too. Yeah. Social media is just essentially a big fat iPhone mask on someone's life. Yeah. So, like, you know, people posting pictures on them being happy, them going out drinking beers, and having out fun with friends, but that's just 10 seconds of someone's life.
Exactly. And so, like,
all right. So, what were we? Oh yeah, you were gonna ask me a question.
So, you're a psychology major, right?
I am majoring in psychology. Yes, I am.
Yes. I was there at one point. I loved it. As a psychology major, or like someone who's majoring in psychology, you know, we all have our struggles in life, and you're gonna have to go through counseling afterwards, but before you can counsel anybody, right? What is the biggest thing that you would say would be hindering you at this moment?
The biggest thing that is affecting me, creating an emotional toll on me?
Yeah.
If I, you know, that's a question that you really have to think about. And it's so weird to say because I've never experienced any form or symptoms maybe some minor symptoms of depression. Just like not feeling it, a lack of motivation, just feeling out of it, and lots of sleep, loss of appetite. These are all very common symptoms of depression, right? But as far as experience the full depression, I've never experienced depression. I've never, of course that's now. Just, just the first part of my life. Of course, people will experience that later on in life. But yeah, let's hope not. But I mean, life will kick people in the ass, and whether we like it or not, it happens. And so I try my best to mentally prepare myself for that because I know one day I'm gonna be in that bed and I'm gonna be crying for whatever reason. I haven't fully experienced a heavy emotional toll where I was out for days and days. I haven't. Of course, I lost family members. I lost my dad. He lost his brother, I think, 2, 3 years ago. He had schizophrenia for pretty much his entire life. And, he passed away 2, 3 years ago in a hospital bed. And my mom lost her dad 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, through an illness. I'm not too sure I forgot what the illness was, but of course they took they took the toll, and of course it affected me too. But I always, like as cold as it sounds, I always try to redirect myself away from that.
Would you say that that's a defense mechanism or just yeah, no, I guess a defense mechanism to like keep you from being not involved emotionally because obviously it's your parents and your family, but um, more like to keep you from feeling the hurt.
Um, I guess the most hurt that I can remember right now is I think about a year ago, year and a half ago. I've been with my girlfriend for a little over 3 years, and we met at 2016, and so we were together, and we still are obviously to this day.
Yeah.
But there was a time where the first year and a half of our relationship was chaos. It was nonstop problems with her and with me, and those problems consisted of nonstop jealousy, unnecessary stupid problems, that people experience when they're young.
Yeah.
Why are you taking forever to reply? Blah 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 blah. But the accumulation of these problems with jealousy and the consistent arguing every single day, it just kind of built up on me.
Yeah.
And I loved her, but after just all this stupid crap, I just got tired of it, and I said, you know what? I think we need to wrap up. I think we need to cut the cord, and I think you need to find somebody else, and I think I need to stay away from you. It's not working out. And I actually told her that here in this room, in my bed, I think a year ago. I told her that, and she did not want to do that. She wanted to stay with me. She wanted to stop me, but I didn't. And so I stuck to my gut. I said, no, we need to wrap up. We need to split. And so she left the house. She left. She went in her car, drove off. And that night, for some reason, it hit me like a freaking truck. I just said, like, man, what the hell did I just do? I love her so much. And then I started going into this phase of just memories, just remembering everything. And I didn't remember any of the bad stuff, of course. I remembered all of the good things. All the times we went out to eat together, all the time we went out to the movies or whatever, all the good things.
Yeah.
That was all in my head. And I felt so much regret. I just felt like, oh my God. But I didn't want to act on an impulsive move. Because I missed that, because I felt that regret, I wanted to make a decision based on that. I said, no, I kind of want to wait this out, sit this out for a few days and see if I still feel that regret. To see if that regret goes away. And those days passed. And this was before, actually, when I was a team leader at Chick-fil-A, or I was about to become one. And I was at work, and I think I was on headset and drinks or something. And for some reason, the time of day, it was sunny, but it was like the sun was setting, so like it was yellow. It was like that 5-6 p.m. before the daytime savings crap, where it's like night at 5. But like this was when the sun was setting at 5 to 6, and it was like the golden hour, right? And I remember at that time, me and her would always go out to eat at that time, and I just looked out, and it just hit me. I'm just like, damn man, like I miss her, and this ideology of men that don't cry. If you're a man, you don't cry.
Yeah.
If you're a man, you need to act macho. You need to act like a man. You need to drive a pickup truck, and you need to grow out a beard. And these are all false ideologies created by man, created by humans.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it comes all back to normality. What is normal?
Yeah.
What is normal? Your normal is different from my normal.
Exactly.
And so the second every person, specifically men, that understand that, you become more free with yourself emotionally. And with not only that, but with expectations too. These expectations of, well, if you're 20, then you need to be acting like this, you need to have this. Every person is in a different position in life.
Exactly.
You do not know what their standards are. You don't know their circumstances. But when it came back to that day, God damn, I felt like crying so much that day. Like I was taking orders and I was like clenching my teeth. Like, okay, I was about to cry and I freaking couldn't do it. Hey, can you cover me real quick? And I never get emotional at work. When I'm at work, it's work mode. You get the day done, but damn, I went to the restroom and I just freaking whipped out my phone and I texted her. I said, we need to meet, we need to talk. And it almost felt like she was waiting for that, because she replied right away and she said, yes, let's do it. And we met, we talked, and we came to a conclusion. And now we are where we are today. So I guess, like, if when you ask me what's the biggest emotional toll I felt, I guess it's that. Because as weird as it sounds, and as many stories as people have in life where they've experienced some crazy shit, I just haven't yet.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
On regards to that, would you say that it felt like your soul was being ripped apart? Because our soul is technically where our emotions reside.
Right.
Or come from.
I just felt like I felt like I was missing something from it. Something was missing. And it was that.
And it wasn't just a simple whatever little thing. It was something big.
It was something big. Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly how that feels, man.
Yeah. And it's so interesting when you get to, sympathize with, because when you sympathize, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you sympathize, I gotta make sure I get this correct. But I know when you sympathize, you feel for somebody, right? You like when someone goes through a death or a loss, you sympathize for them. You feel for the loss.
But when you have empathy, you're feeling it with.
Exactly. When you empathize, it's the ability to understand and share the feelings. Why? Because you as well experience the same thing as them. So when you empathize with somebody, it's like this invincible, powerful connection, because you get to, I felt that, you felt that too. Okay, cool. We're on the same boat.
Yeah. And so I guess not to like take it another route, but because it's in the same pathway. But empathy in the spiritual is believed to cross boundaries in the sense of I don't have to go through or have experienced anything that you just went through, but I can still empathize with you. I've been in situations personally, and like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but as you were talking, I could feel your heart. I could feel what you were feeling as you were talking, and not because I felt it, but because I felt it in a different way than what you did, and I could tell the difference. But we're getting a little bit spiritual now. I've come up to people and it's like, oh shoot, like I've never gone through anything of that they've gone through. but yet I can feel the pain at the same way, the same intensity that they feel it. And so empathy can be a spiritual gift that not many people recognize as a reality or a truth. And so, like, I've come across prostitutes, I've come across drug dealers, and they've told me stories, man. And it's like, while they're talking about them, I can feel their pain at the same intensity. And I describe the pain, physical and emotional, that they're going through. And it's like, yeah, how did you know? So I know where your heart is coming from. Not because I've been through the same exact situation, but because it's something that I've just had. That I can empathize with people, even though I've never gone through that scenario.
Yeah.
But I've actually gone through that personally.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone has. And of course, people that are in relationships.
You'd be surprised at how many people have. You know, because there are people that don't believe in true love.
Right. Of course.
Because they've been hurt.
And that comes back to defense mode. They want to avoid the pain. So how do they do that? By simply singling themselves out. There's many people that actually, prefer to live alone, prefer to not have a partner, to not have a sexual life, to just be by themselves.
Yeah.
And that's how their life is gonna go. And are they happy with that?
Maybe. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Or can I make a statement? Really?
Yeah.
You're a good guy, Jonas. Sincerely from the bottom of my heart, you're a good guy.
Appreciate that, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you should just absorb it right now, because you are a good guy.
Thank you.
And you're on your way to becoming a great man.
Thank you.
Not that you're not great now, but you are a good man.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I feel that from you too. I'm not saying that just to say it back.
Yeah, no.
Just ever since you started working there at Chick-fil-A, it just it didn't feel like just like another regular guy. You had story, you had charisma, you had passion. Not only with what you do, but with how you send yourself amongst the people. You just provided a different vibe. In other words, people at work, you get the same vibes, but yours was different, which is why, I felt that me and you, we got closer, and that's why you're here right now, because of that different vibe. All right, so that was Edward. This is our first time, having a sit-down one-on-one conversation. And I know Edward, I think about a month ago, he mentioned to me that he's always wanted to just sit down and have a conversation. But we did. I feel like, though, we didn't really get to go in depth. Of course, that's because my cameras, they were running out of SD card memory footage. Yeah, it's because I got 64 gigabytes and they're running out already. So I need to get bigger ones. But this will conclude the In Theory podcast. This was an interesting talk. We went in depth with many things, many struggles that people occur and go through in life. But nonetheless, this was the first episode. And thank you guys for watching. We'll have many more coming soon with many more guests and awesome stories. So sit tight.